Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Well, that sucked. Super sucked. Hey guys, this is Ryan, Box Score Sports YouTube channel. I'm just going to make a very brief video. We're going to talk a little bit about the Lions losing to the Commanders and a very stunning victory for the Commanders. I don't think, I mean, I picked them. I picked the Lions to win by 2 touchdowns comfortably, confidently, I should say. And didn't happen. Shows how much I know about football. But I'm going to talk about, in my opinion, my 3 reasons just watching the game the Lions lost the way they did. But it just sucks, and if you're a Lions fan, it was nobody wants to talk about how fun of a year it was right now because of the way it ended. It was a fun year. 15 wins, #1 seed. But it doesn't matter because just like Kobe Bryant used to say, job's not done. Job's not done. This team had real expectations coming to the end of the year, and as a Lions fan, we all know, you know, um, we don't, we're not used to those expectations. We're just not. And to have an opportunity, I felt like this was the best year that they could have done that. Not that they won't be good next year or the year after, but this year in particular, I felt like this was their year to get to the Super Bowl and maybe have a chance to win, and they just couldn't do it. And as the season progressed, I really thought that their chances of getting to the Super Bowl became less and less likely because of all the injuries, which we'll talk about in a second. But I want to talk about the game and some of my frustrations. And I guess if you're a Lions fan or a Commanders fan, let me know or a football fan, you watch the game. Just let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you're a Commander fan, I will talk more about you guys on the podcast. This is specifically to Lions, but Commanders, congratulations. I'll say that. You have a guy. That is a guy you want behind the center every snap, Jaden Daniels. But as far as the Lions go, so I'm just going to hit on 3 reasons why they lost this game, right? And my frustrations with those reasons. And the first one is the turnovers. That's the biggest reason they lost this game. I thought the Lions could score 40 points, and I think they could have got to 40 points if they stopped turning the ball over. And what's so frustrating about all the turnovers was that it wasn't forced turnovers. The first one was the fumble was a forced turnover. And I know we all want to blame the play call. Like I would have preferred that they ran the ball, but I feel like that's a little bit reactionary just because if they would have completed the pass on 3rd down or not got it, they would have just went for it on 4th down. I think that's why they passed on 3rd down is because they knew they'd run the ball on 4th down. Jared Goff has to hold on to the ball. That's Goff problem, not the play caller's problem. And then to be, Brown slipped. So that was a first forced turnover because the defensive player hit the ball out of Goff's arm. The other 3 were not forced. And I think what the Commanders did was so smart, which was basically we're going to sit back here and let the Lions make mistakes because the Lions, we've been watching them all year. They're so explosive. They love to run up the score, get ahead on people. And the one thing that like smart coordinators always have trouble with, not all of them, but most of them, is they just don't want to do simple things. Like Ben Johnson should have probably ran the ball like 50 times in this game. And I think like in my mind that these coordinators and coaches just want to look good or make their guy look good. Like last year, I think that was the big problem with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. They wanted him to look good, so they only ran the ball 8 times. Now, Ben Johnson ran the ball, but this was a game where they should have just pound the rock every play till they didn't get 4 yards. I mean, not, obviously to a reasonable degree. And I just think like they outsmart themselves into doing things that give the defense opportunity to respond. So yeah, the Lions got big plays, but for the most part, the Commanders just let the Lions make the mistakes. So for instance, the interception, the Tim Patrick, Laporta open underneath, he decided to go deeper. and he overthrew his target. That was not a that was an unforced error. The Commanders allowed the Lions to make that mistake, capitalized on it. The second interception before half, um, it was an underthrown ball. If he throws it out here, it's a touchdown. He threw it back here, interception. And I think like part of that was Jared Goff overthrew him, I think, earlier in the game. So maybe he didn't put as much as he would have because he thought he, needed to adjust his throw. I don't know. But regardless, whatever excuse is not good enough. You underthrew the ball and the Commanders capitalized. Unforced mistake. The Jameis Williams interception was such a dumb play call. Dumb play call. And I'll talk about the play calling in a second. When you're driving downfield, why do offensive coordinators, I don't never understand this. Offensive coordinators, you're driving downfield, you get 40 yards downfield, you're on the other side of the team, you're in a rhythm. Let's call it a play, a trick play when there's just not a need for it. And, some people are blaming Williams. I'm not blaming Williams for that. The coaches should have never put him in that position. That's my opinion. He's a receiver. He's not a quarterback. He's a young receiver. He and you expect him to make the right decision. I didn't. I don't. I don't understand that play call. It was dumb. But again, an unforced error. Why are we doing that? Why are the Lions doing that? I didn't, I'll be honest, I turned the game off with about 3 minutes ago because I just like, it's over. So I didn't see the last interception. But those were all the plays that I felt like while the game was in hand, the Lions turnovers. So that's the first reason. The turnovers, unforced turnovers, really killed the Lions. The second reason, I just didn't, the play calling was off both offensively and defensively. And I'm trying to be reasonable about it, but right now we're irrational because we're fans and we're really upset right now. And I get what Aaron Glenn was doing. Let's talk about the defensive side. What, 2 weeks ago, they embarrassed the Vikings because they kept blitzing, blitzing, blitzing. It worked. So I think part of it was we're going to try it again because we got to get pressure on the quarterback. And I don't know if there was a win out there for Aaron Glenn as far as what style of defense he plays, right? I think it probably wouldn't have worked because, and we'll talk about that in a second, but it just nothing was working. You can't get pressure with the front four. You just can't. So you have to bring blitz because otherwise Daniel's going to wait for someone to get open or he's going to run for a first down or whatever. Um, but you also um, you also can't just bring blitz because you don't have the man-to-man coverage, especially once Robinson went out. So I don't know if there was a win. I guess I would have liked to see them try bend, don't break type of plays on defense. The lack of adjustments that was upsetting. Like try to do something different. Don't always bring blitz. He was killing the blitz all game. And not once did you think, you know what, maybe let's just try to play back. Well, that's the way they play. You as a good coach, good coaches are adaptable. That wasn't good coaching in my opinion. The other reason why there's not good coaching, the 12 men on the field, they got outcoached. I'm not saying they're not bad coaches. They just got outcoached. 12 men on the field, that was bad coaching. Players out of position. The Terry McLaurin, I had no idea how that was even allowed to happen. You had the other play where it was 4th and 2, and Arnold, Terry and Arnold, he's a rookie, fair, but he kind of came in when his job was to keep the rollout covered, and he didn't. And then 2 yards, easy 2 yards for Daniels, and there's nothing that says he would have tackled him anyway because Daniel's hard to tackle. But it's just the play calling, the coaching. I just didn't care too much about it. I mean, the Williams thing was bad. I think 3rd and 1. I would have preferred they ran it personally. The defense, I just wish adjustments, but I think that's the second reason. The third reason, I mean, we know this, the injuries just finally caught up with us. And I did say the week that McNeil and Davis went down, I said, I don't think the Lions are favorites anymore. They are still contenders, but not favorites because there's just no coming back from all these injuries. We had 18 guys on IR. I think 12 or 13 defenders. Over half of them are starters on our team. And then like the other halves are like legitimate backups like that we needed, right? So we're down to like third stringers. People were pulling off the streets. Morris was in there today. I think Morris, it was Morris. That was some of the first gameplay he has played all season. Injuries finally caught up to us. I didn't think it happened this week. To full transparent, next week I thought maybe NFC Championship game. I thought the Vikings was going to beat us the last game of the season. Why? Injuries. I said this is where it catches up to us. It didn't. So it gave me false hope, I think, moving forward, which is a bummer. Um, and we're going to blame the coaches and the players that didn't play well. Gibbs should get like kudos. He had a game. Montgomery, thanks for coming back and playing injured. I mean, he had some tough runs. I'd like Gibbs in there probably a little bit more. Brown, he was pretty solid, okay? There was some good performances out there. The problem is this is not a time to talk about that. The thing I struggle with this team, we're going to blame the coaches, we're going to blame some of the players, and deservedly so. I do want to blame Brad Holmes a little bit as well. I think all these individuals get some blame. Brad Holmes is the one guy that probably won't be talked about. I personally am going to talk about him. We were, as Lions, we were dealing with these injuries all season. Before the trade deadline, we knew, like, rewind that. Before the season, we needed another pass rusher next to Aiden Hutchinson. Okay, we needed one. Didn't get one off season, all off season. So at the start of the year, I'm like, I hope before the trade deadline they get somebody next to him. I'll take Zadarius Smith. That's what's the big like. We knew he would probably be available, especially with the slow start with that Cleveland had. So once Hutchinson went down, guess what? We needed two more pass rushers. The problem with Detroit towards the end of the season is we couldn't get pressure with just four people, so you had to bring more. Traded for Zadarius. Guess what? It didn't really help. Did you hear Zadarius Smith's name once this game? No. Why? Because he's not as elite as he used to be. He's not as good as he used to be. And when a defense is like, or offensive line can be like, okay, that's the only guy they got. Well, we can handle that. It's not like it's Hutchinson and Smith. It's just Smith. So we needed another pass rusher. And remember, um, Holmes was like, we're not going to sacrifice the future by giving up picks for another edge rusher because like Crosby was out there for a couple picks, rumored, right? Like Garrett, maybe. Like there was other people out there, but the Lions are like, we're not going to give more picks. Well, we'll see what happens next year. Because in the NFL, windows open and close so quickly. And what we're seeing is a trend in the NFL where we are looking at the last couple teams in these playoffs all have really solid mobile quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, Daniels, Allen, Lamar, Hurts, Stafford's not, but he has a special arm, right? And who knows, after this week, he might be gone. And think about this. So that means all four quarterbacks potentially in the NFC Championship game and AFC Championship game, should just said championship games, are going to be mobile quarterbacks. It is the great equalizer. It is becoming, in my opinion, the great equalizer in the NFL. It's like going to be like 3-point shots in the NBA. If you have a mobile quarterback, you have a chance to win. It's the way it's going to be. The Lions don't. And I think Goff has been a mediocre quarterback his entire career that plays to the talent around him. And I've been telling Lions fans, and they get so um, upset with me, and I don't know why it's hard for us to be real about our team. I love Goff. He's a top 12 quarterback in this league. You put a great team around him, he's going to be in the top five, like statistically and stuff. The problem is, the more you put on his shoulders, the more likely he will not be that great quarterback. He just can't handle it. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Lamar. He's not Daniels. He doesn't have this ability that when the play breaks down, I'm going to make something out of nothing. Yeah, I should say it doesn't come easy to him to do that. He can do that, but not to the level that these guys can. And I think as these teams start, I mean, these mobile quarterbacks become more and more popular in the NFL, it's going to make quarterbacks like Jared Goff harder to win with. That's what's going to happen. So we'll see. That's obviously like ship is sinking stuff. And my podcast, I'll talk about uh, where I think the Lions should do going forward and all that stuff. So if you want to listen to that, just check out all our socials and stuff. Just real quick. So my point with Jared Goff is he was bad this game. This was what a lot of Lions fans were concerned about, and rightfully so. Okay. Thanks for listening. That was just me ranting for 15 minutes. Sorry, guys. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Comments down below. Like, subscribe to the channel. We'll talk about how fun this season 1 was a different day. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.